Strap yourselves in because this is going to be a very, very long video. Hey, what's up you guys? Today I'm going to be doing my band Q&A. I posted a video, it was like a 20-second video, either yesterday or the day before, and I asked you guys to ask me band questions, and oh my gosh, you guys asked me a lot of questions. I just spent the past 2 hours organizing and going through all of the questions, and I'm going to answer every single one of them, so strap yourselves in because this is going to be a very, very long video. I will try to keep it under 20 minutes. So I'm gonna start off by answering the questions that were asked multiple times. The first one is, do you plan on doing marching band in college? The answer to that is no, I'm not doing marching band in college for two reasons. The first one being that I simply don't have enough time. I'm gonna be a biochemistry major in the pre-med program. I'm trying to get into medical school. I just won't have enough time to dedicate to marching band and like going to games. Second reason why I'm not doing marching band is because my knees are terrible. I have patellofemoral syndrome. It's rough on the knees, and I also had surgery on my left knee because I tore my menisci on both sides of my knees, so that really screwed up my knee, and it's really painful to march. So no, I'm not going to be doing band in college for those two reasons. But I do plan on doing concert band in the spring, I think. The next question is reading drill hard / how to read drill? No, reading drill is not hard once you get the hang of it, but it's just one of those things that you have to get the hang of before it becomes like second nature to you. The next question that multiple people asked was tips for freshmen / rookies. I made a whole video, I think about like 2 years ago, called tips for upcoming freshmen. So I will link that in the down bar, as well as I will link the video that I did on how to survive Bandcamp. I gave freshmen quite a few tips in that video as well, so I will also link that down below. But I will just kind of summarize what I said in those videos. Work really hard and make yourself great. Don't be afraid to mingle with people because you're going to be with them for the next 4 years, so get really close with your class. My class was a little bit smaller than the other one, so we got really close with each other. Also, be nice to everyone, even if they're mean to you. That typically makes you a freshman that a lot of people like, and if you're nice to people, even if they're mean to you, you're being the bigger person. The next frequently asked question was how to become a section leader, show the directors you're good enough for section leader / how to be a good leader. There are two sides to this answer. The ideal answer would be to work really hard, put the band above yourself, master your instrument, and master your marching technique, and go above and beyond your band director's expectations, not just for yourself but also for the good of the band, and to always have the good of the band and the good of your section in your mind whenever you do everything, and to always try and make everything good for your section and for the band. However, the more cynical, or what I like to call realistic side to this answer, is that every band, mine not being an exclusion, your band director / band directors are gonna have a bias towards one person or the other. And I know they say like, oh no, we don't include bias, we leave bias out of it, blah blah blah. That's not true. Your band directors are human. They are going to have a natural bias. So to try to get yourself on the good side of that bias is to don't kiss up to them, because that is very obvious if you kiss up to them. If you don't want to make it too obvious, just make sure that you're doing things that will make you stand out, like, you know, mastering your instrument and all that stuff. Make yourself stand out in a positive way. And also, if your band director is like, hey, I need somebody to go do this for me, be like the first person to raise your hand. Put yourself out there and make them notice you in a positive way, and hopefully that bias will lean more towards you than whoever. And also, how to be a good leader is, like I said before, put your band and your section above yourself and try to make that the best that it can be. The last frequently asked question was, what are some important things to bring on the first day of marching band? How should you prepare for band camp? Essentials for band camp, and I mean, how long do you guys want this video to be? As far as how you should prepare for Bandcamp, like I said, I did a video on that. That is in the description box. As far as essentials and things to bring, there's so many, so I'm just gonna insert a little list here and let you guys look at that at your leisure. Diksha Mittal asked me, how do you memorize your marching band music? So how I memorized my music was I would work it by section, make my drill chart, and I would mark each set that I did. So like each set has a certain number of counts, so I would mark that and then just practice my music alternating without looking at it so that I could memorize it faster. So here's a good example. I marked my sets from my dots and I practice it by sections. Play through that section 5 times looking at it, take the music away, and then try to play it 5 times in a row without the music, and then if I messed up I'd go back and look, and I just repeat that over and over again. Once I got a section memorized, then I would move on to the next section, do the same thing, and then after I got that part memorized, then I would go back to the first section and then play all the way through 5 times looking at it, and then 5 times not looking at it. If it was a really hard part of the music, then I would do the same thing, but I would go measure by measure. Mama My Cool Mom asked, why flute? Okay, so I remember being in 5th grade and I was playing the recorder, as all 5th graders do. I was apparently excelling really well at playing the recorder, and I was like really good at it, and my music teacher was like, you know, you should join band whenever you get into middle school, which was like the next year. She's like, you should join the band, and I was like, yeah, I was going to, and she's like, I think you should play the flute because it's the most similar to the recorder, and she's like, and you're really good at the recorder. So that kind of put that in my mind. We had instrument selection. That's where like you get to trial out all of the instruments that they offer at the middle school, at my middle school anyway. Whenever I went for that, the tuba was too heavy for me to pick up, so I didn't even try that one. I really, and I don't want to offend anyone, but I really didn't like the sound or the look of the baritone. I do now. I love baritone now. I don't know why I didn't like it, but I kind of looked at the baritone and I'm like, oh, it's just a tiny tuba. I don't want to play that. I tried trombone. I got a really good score on trombone. Like I was really good at trombone. But I feel like whenever I was trying to slide it, my arms were too short. So I saw the other people trying out to play trumpet and I just didn't want to be around that. So then we got to the woodwinds. I couldn't play anything with a reed. Obviously, the flute was like the only thing left, and my arm was too short for trombone, so that's why I play the flute. Or I played the flute. Now I play the mellophone as well. I love that butter. Funny name. Asked, any tips for the marching uniform? Also, why did you join band? I'm gonna start off with the second question because it kind of relates to the last one. But my family is a pretty musical family. My mom and I think my aunt were in chorus. All of my cousins and my uncle and I think other people in my family were in band. I just loved music and I already had a natural inclination to, that said that really weird, inclination to music, so I really wanted to do it. That was one of the reasons. And the other reason was my cousin Kayla. She was my oldest. She's the my oldest cousin. I looked up to her like, well, I look up to her. She's not dead or anything, but I look up to her like a big sister. And I especially did whenever I was little. And she was in concert band whenever she was in middle school, and so I remember going to her concerts and just loving being there and loving listening to it and loving hearing, like, you know, the instruments and how they all went together and all that stuff. So I really liked it, and so she kind of inspired me to go and do it and be in band. So those are kind of the two reasons why I joined band in the first place. As far as tips for the uniform, the biggest tip that I can give you guys for the uniform is that if you sweat a lot, or if you have like a typically hot like game or something and you're in your uniform, when you go to put it up and hang it up in your bag, keep your bag unzipped. That way the sweat can air out and it doesn't get trapped in there, because my band this year had a really big problem with people just zipping all their sweat up in that bag, and the uniforms actually got mold on them, which was so gross. Like, not all of the uniforms obviously, but like a lot of people got mold on their uniforms because they just didn't like unzip it whenever they hung it up. Lay your gauntlets out if you sweat a lot around your arms. Lay your gauntlets out flat on top of the instrument case and let those dry out as well. Wear deodorant and wear Axe/perfume because those uniforms can smell rank. Eamon W asks, how to not get bad band tans at Bandcamp. OMG, wait, that might be impossible. Yes, that is impossible. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. Abigail Shelton asks, how do you memorize your dots easily? By the way, I love you so much. I love you so much too. It really has to do with how your band director rehearses. And typically every band director does multiple takes of the same move over and over and over again. I just pay really close attention to my surroundings, not necessarily like the markers, like the yard line markers. You don't want to look down into like where the drum major podiums are and who is to my left and right of me, and how I also like fit into the form, and those will help you remember your dots. But as far as memorizing them goes, we use poker chips and we lay them down. We go set a dot, lay the poker chip down, and then we just go run it over and over again until we hit the poker chip. But pay attention and don't talk on the field, and that will help you memorize where you're going and who's beside you and all that a lot easier. Grace Pasick says, lotion sunscreen or spray sunscreen for Bandcamp? I personally like spray sunscreen better. I hate lotion. I like lotion in general. Like I hate putting on lotion. It just feels gross on my skin. The spray stuff is like really quick and easy, and it like soaks into your skin faster. And I don't know if like there's like a difference in how they help you or not, like if the lotion is like more effective or whatever, but I haven't gotten a sunburn whenever I use spray sunscreens. It's also easier and faster to spray on than actually like rubbing lotion into your skin. Kaylee Allsip says, if it rains and you are forced to practice, what do you do with your instrument? I play flute and I don't want to get my pads wet. Oh girl, do I have a story for you. If it rains at my in my band, if the band director knew that it was gonna rain, like if it said on the forecast or whatever, then he would tell the woodwinds to bring their cases up to the field with them, so that if it started to rain, the woodwinds could put their instruments up and then just march like this and like kind of like sing along to our parts. But the brass doesn't have this problem. If you're a brass player, then you like this doesn't affect you at all, but the woodwinds would put their instrument up if it started to rain. But if you're caught in the rain and you don't have your case with you, what my section did whenever I marched flute for like, you know, the 3 years that I marched flute, we would put our flutes up our shirts. And I know this sounds weird, but let me explain how this worked. We would keep the flute all together. We wouldn't take it apart or anything. The foot joint would go into our shorts or whatever bottoms we were wearing, and then the rest of the flute would go up our shirt. So the head joint of the flute would be kind of hanging out like right here. Pads were covered by our shirt, and then we would just march like this. That's how my section did it. I know that sounds really stupid, but the story that I have for you is we were practicing in the stadium one day, and then all of a sudden it started to rain. This was my freshman year, by the way, so I still wasn't used to it. And my section leader at the time, her name was Deanna. She was like the best section leader we ever had. She was so funny. It started to rain, and then all the woodwinds like started freaking out because obviously our pads. We started running, and Deanna just screams, "Protect the pads!" And she shoves her piccolo and her flute up her shirt, and she just starts running towards the band room, and it was the funniest thing that ever happened. So now anytime it starts to rain, the entire flute section goes, "Protect the pads!" and shoves our flutes up our shirts. Miss Artemis 1996 asked, any tips and tricks about achieving a better marching technique? Practice, like a lot. Roll your feet while you walk, like in public, like just around school. You'll start doing this without even noticing that you're doing it, but if you roll your feet while you're walking, then that helps build your muscle memory better. Building your technique is all about muscle memory and endurance, so that is a great way to do that. Eamon W again asked how to not get tired while holding up your instrument and how to motivate yourself by keeping it up, to keep it up. Again, the whole band, it comes down, like you can summarize band in like 3 words: muscle memory and endurance. Take a timer and see how long you can hold your instrument up for until your arms start to get tired. Go week by week, and every single day for a week, just hold your instrument up for that set amount of time, and the next week you double that time, and then the week after that you triple it until you get up to the length of your show. A marching band show, a high school one, is typically 8 to 10 minutes long, so just build up the time and like force yourself to do it every single day, and again, it will become muscle memory and it will build up your endurance. To imagine whoever you look up to, just imagine that they're watching you, and typically whenever somebody who you look up to is watching you, you will want to put your best foot forward, so that is a good motivator to keep your instrument up. Okay, Molly Westerman asked the best way to make friends and how to not get tired so easily during band. I kind of answered the second question before, and the best way to make friends is to kind of, if you're a freshman, or you know, if you're like new to a band, start by making friends within your section. Those are the people who you're spending the most time with, and those are the people who probably have the most in common with you. Then if your section is crap, like if there's like really bad people in your section, then kind of branch out to your entire class. So like if you're a freshman, like make friends with other freshmen, talk to people. That's like the biggest thing, is to be confident, and if you're confident, then friends will come to you. And also don't put on like a show and not be yourself, because if you're not being yourself, then you won't get the friends that you actually are gonna connect with. Annie L asked, my funniest Bandcamp story was my freshman year whenever my friend Dylan locked my friend Hunter in one of the band lockers, and by locked I mean he actually put him in one of the tiny, like, well, it wasn't like a tiny one, it was like a mellophone locker, a mellophone or a baritone locker, so he fit in there, but he actually took a padlock and locked him in there. However, it wasn't his padlock, so he forgot, he didn't know what the combination was, so our band director at the time had to go and get the lock clippers and get him out of there, and they got into a lot of trouble for that, so that was hilarious. Camilla Taylor asked, what's the best way to stay organized throughout marching season? So throughout marching season, I'm gonna start by saying like stuff to keep in your lockers. You just want to keep like those things in your locker. You don't want to overcrowd your locker. That's a really good way to stay organized. As far as like organization with your binder, so I did like a collage, and then it has dots right there. These were my dot sheets, my coordinate charts that I had, so because obviously your binder hangs to the side of you, so I had it to where I could just flip it open and then look at them, and they were the right side up, so I taped those in there. And then behind that I had my warm-up that we did. We played space chords from the Blue Devils for our warm-up, and then I had all of the movements in order. Because I was new to the mellophone this year, I had a mellophone fingering chart right here just so I could look at it, but that's how I organize my binder. So it's good to keep a really organized binder. That will help you a lot, and that will help you be organized throughout the season. Okay, Casey Stilley asked, play something for us. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. I am moving in 3 days. My room was a mess, and so was my closet, because my closet thing just decided to break. Like the little rack that goes across your closet, that just decided to break off my wall. So my closet is a mess. What I'm trying to get at is I don't know at the moment where my flute is. So I cannot play something for you, but I promise I will play something for you eventually when I find my flute. And the last question also comes from Eamon W. It isn't really a question, but I wanted to include it anyway because it made me really happy. They said, Team Mellow, LOL, I love you. Love you too. Yeah, go Mellophones. Woo, had to include that in there because it made me really happy. So those are all of the questions that I saw. I'm pretty sure I answered every single one of them. If I missed one, then just like comment it down below again and I'll answer you guys in the comments. And also let me know if you guys want this band Q&A thing to kind of be like a series on my channel, because like I said, I'm not going to be doing marching band in college, so the amount of band videos that go on my channel are going to kind of decrease just because I'm not going to be in it anymore, so I won't be having like things to show you guys. But I will totally do this band Q&A like once a month or once every 2 months, or give this video a thumbs up. That would really help me out a lot, and that would be great. Also, if you just can't get enough of my band videos, then I will link my band Geek Chic playlist right over here, so you guys can check that out and watch all the other band videos that I've done. And while you're clicking things, go ahead and click that subscribe button right there, and yeah, subscribe to my channel for more videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helped you. I hope I answered your questions in the way you wanted me to, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!